What up? I'm Fluid from Beyond the Reverb, and I just want to talk to these guys about Outkast and their impact on hip hop and music in general.
We were the other day talking about Donda, and I didn't realize when Donda was released. And so I did a quick search, and when I was trying to get the date, I saw an article about Andre 3000 being upset that Drake released an unreleased song, or leaked it, as we like to call it, of him and Kanye from the Donda album. And so that segued into a conversation about Outkast and their impact within hip hop, and which album of their 5 or 6 albums had the most impact.
I have my personal opinions, and for me, I didn't know who Outkast was on their first album, as do a lot of hip hop heads. I mean, a lot of people did not know who they were until their second album. I loved them right from the beginning when I first heard them, and then I ran back their first album, and I even going back through their first 3 albums, they had an impact across the country where they had a following, especially in Georgia. Though, when that second album came out, you couldn't go through Georgia without hearing their songs being bumped down the road at all. Like outside of like in the Northeast and on the West Coast, they started getting a following. But where we differed in this conversation was where they exploded to the next level. And I think there's two categories of listeners. You have your hip hop heads, like 3 of us here, possibly 4. I don't know if Cam is a true hip hop head, but I'm not trying to insult you, but
don't be throwing Cam under the bus now.
But for casual Outkast listeners, I don't think they blew up until Miss Jackson.
That's your opinion.
Well, you could poll people down the street. No, you could poll people down the street. Like, just walk down the street, random people of all demographics that are from, and just make sure that they are familiar with who Outkast are, because not everybody does know. But if they do know who, ask them what the first song they remember from them, and the most common answer will be Miss Jackson.
No, I'm sorry. I beg to differ, because you got to be well known to have Raekwon on a song on Scooting on a Barbie. This ain't no opinionated thing. This is just how it is. You can't be not blown the hell up and have a Wu-Tang member on a song. Nowadays it's different. Back in the 90s, you couldn't do that. Now you got Method Man on a battle rapper song. Now you got Math Hoffa doing a battle with Method Man. Now you have battle rappers entering the industry realm with industry artists from the 90s. We ain't talking today. We talking back then. Back then, they was blown up from the get up.
For hip hop heads, not for the casual fan.
Well, the casual fan, see, you talking that's blasphemy right there, to me.
I don't agree with it, though. Like, I go all the way back to your second album.
You the one said it. You feel me?
I didn't say
they didn't blow up until hey, yeah, or whatever you said. I don't remember.
The speaker box in the love below.
What I'm saying is they were blown up long before that. They were sitting on the Source Awards in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast beef. And they were saying the South got a voice too. Come on now. And they won.
Fan even know about that.
So in 1995, at the Source Awards, Andre 3000 famously quotes, "The South got something to say." That was in recognition to their hip hop album of the year for ATLiens, which was their sophomore album. And the album, as you go back into the records, it was quoted as an instant classic. My homeboy, who was from New York, is the one who even told me this, because he knew who Outkast was. And I was from the West Coast in 95 when that album actually hit. So I knew it all the way on the West Coast. And when I got to Texas a year later in 96, I was still aware of it because I was watching Elevators on MTV, BET, which tells you at that point, if I'm watching it, they're already nationwide at that point. Now, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music, their first album, I give you that. But just being the guy I am, let's look at their albums. Is that okay with you?
Go ahead.
That part.
So Aquemini, okay? So this list is based off of Outkast albums, ranked worst to best. Okay? Idlewild, 2006. Stankonia, 2000. Speakerbox and the Love Below, number 4, 2003. Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music, 1994.
Say it right.
AT Aliens, 1996. And Aquemini being their best album of all time in 1998. AT Aliens being their sophomore album. Now you would say Aquemini in 98, I would have digressed, backed up, you know, because that was the one where they really hit that pulse. The Hey Ya that we just listened to on The Power of Habit, which was quote unquote almost a golden ratio for music. Like, yeah, but it wasn't even really a hip hop. It was like that crossover alternative pop, hip hop.
Yeah, it was a crossover
like,
song.
Yeah, but their hip hop impact happened with Elevators, AT Aliens. Right there, 25-year anniversary, like instant classic, like from the South, instant classic. Like, come on now, bro. You really having this discussion?
So, Flo, you talking about the casual hip hop fan, casual music fan, whatever. Since you was throwing Cam under the bus, I'm gonna jump in and say, I'm not gonna call Cam a casual fan. He's not. You don't know Cam like I do. He's not a casual fan. But what are your thoughts on this subject?
Well, in general, I mean, Outkast clearly was one of the first people to help with stuff coming out. And was it that like the same era with Master P and all that, wasn't it? No, kind of. But
They were before. They came out.
Before.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion. I'm kind of neutral. I mean, I do like their music. I never heard all their albums. The only negative thing that I got is I just didn't like how they changed their clothes as they started in the beginning and then towards the end. Like they were wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Now they're wearing fluffy, hairy pants with.
You trying to say they're looking like Prince?
Right. So, but I do give props to the one is Boy,
Andre?
something Boy. Andre
Big
3000.
Boy, our big boy.
No, but Andre 3000, I heard him freestyle. I was like, God damn. I was like, this dude could freestyle. And I don't know much about the other guy, but yeah, I'm neutral on it. I don't have no pros and cons or beef with it.
Try to put Outkast in this box and lump them up and say, who's the king of the South? Who's this? Who's that? A lot of people say king of the South is T.I. T.I. came out about the same time as Outkast. 1 year difference. 1 year difference. When did Outkast come out?
1994.
When did T.I.? Oh, I'm sorry, 2 years. When did T.I. come out?
Hold on. Since we're gonna do this, I'm gonna throw a dart out there because I bought his first album, actual studio album, called I'm Serious, because it's actually one of my favorite albums that he did. Because a lot of people say it was King, and I disagree. King was probably his biggest album for as far as studio album is concerned, but as far as just a regular full on, I would disagree. But I'm Serious by T.I. came out in 2001. That was his first album. So you kind of missed it by 7 years. But it's okay, because we still love you, bro.
Why was I hearing T.I.? Why was I hearing T.I. in like 93?
You weren't.
Sure.
He's not old enough.
In 93?
He's not old enough.
Well,
he's like our age. He's not old enough.
Well, let's find out. T.I. is 40 years old. So in 93, that would have made him 12 years old. Unless he turns 40.
Okay, I retract my statement. That'll be cut out.
Oh no, you can't cut that out, bro.
but what we also have to interject with is the name of Outkast's first album. Anon, you were butchering it. It's Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, and you were like funky music or something like that. Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music.
I apologize. I was thinking
album
of the song because the song Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music. That's why I said it that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
I'll give you that. But it was okay. That was 94.
Yes.
But in 2000 is Miss Jackson came out, and I'm sorry that I had. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I had that date wrong in my head when we were speaking about this the other night, because for some reason I had that on The Love Below, because that is not an Outkast album. The Speaker Box was Big Boy's album. The Love Below was 3 Stacks album, and they were packaged and marketed as an Outkast package, but they were individual albums. They were solo projects.
That is correct. And it's interesting you mentioned that because there wasn't much crossover on both albums. It was only crossover on Big Boy's album. There was no crossover on Andre's album.
Yeah.
Andre was damn near a featureless album. And he pushed it. That was when he truly pushed the envelope of what an artist could be. And shortly after that, they transitioned over to Idlewild, which was for the movie. And then Andre disappeared on us after that. And if you ever watch his interview with what's the old boy from California, from Shangri-La, Mark Rubin or Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, Rick Rubin. When he's interviewed with Rick Rubin, he basically said that he basically is in a spell of writer's block and dealing with depression type things and really trying to find the motivation to get back into the music. And he's done a lot of collaborations, freestyles, like Cam said. He heard some crazy freestyles from him. And he speaks up here and there. So like when hip hop went into mumble rap and that started becoming an issue, he poked shots at it without being as blatant or overt with it, but he was really subliminal, metaphoric with it, calling shots. Or he called shots at Drake when he heard about Drake ghostwriting. But Big Boy, on the other hand, he's been very successful. Like he's been releasing hit after hit solo albums, and he has another solo album about to come out as well that he's working on. They said it's supposed to be classic. And I want to say, with the 25th anniversary, they actually got a album coming out with additional songs that were unreleased, and they have an ATLian video game coming out as part of the 25th anniversary package. And you can go online and look at the new animated music video.
Yes, I was going to mention that too. I don't remember. I saw it. It was just released either yesterday or the day before. It's very new. Maybe a week ago. I saw it yesterday, the day before. I didn't see it right away. But I saw that. I was like, this ain't a new song. This ain't a new song, but it's definitely a new video because I've never seen nothing like that from them. But it looks like they're trying to promote something in the future.
But I would love to touch on something Cam brought up, which is the artists changing their styles. And as hip hop, as we've seen it, hip hop is always going through these transitions where artists change the way they look. But in the way, especially 3 Stacks, the way he changed, as we talked about earlier, he kind of leaned more towards that Prince look, really out in left field. And I always looked at it, because even the interview I saw recently on Prince, I looked at it that he changed as an expression to make himself art beyond just his music, rather than to be a fashion icon or a fashion mogul in the hip hop. And for some people, it's uncomfortable to see it because it skirts on the borderline of certain beliefs or certain systems and established norms. But then on the other hand, it's also nice to see a person willing to push the edge for me in order to showcase that I'm multidimensional and my creative space goes beyond just the normal perceptions that you might have. Though I personally would not do it. But, you know, that's just me.
Cam, jump in the conversation, man. You mighty quiet.
Yeah, that's typical Anon. He'll always try to see the positive light, even in no matter what it is. Like, that's burnt, but you know, inside it's still soft. And
Okay. Like, okay, sprinkle me, baby.
oh, shit. That sauce, we're good. And yeah, like I said, I'm not prepped for this at all. I mean, I'm kind of like a late bloomer on a lot of genres. Like when the South came out, I didn't like any of it. But then I would go back and listen to old school stuff, and I'm like, oh man, okay, I see it now. You know, I was just too stubborn with the New York mentality that nothing else was good except for that.
Right.
And
A lot of people were.
Huh?
A lot of people were.
Yeah. Then then it was the bass coming in, and everything was thumping, and so I'm a late bloomer on that. I don't have too much really on it. I'm really stunned. That's why I'm just listening to you guys. I just didn't like the fact that they went left field with the way they looked. But I don't mind it too much because also their music style changed.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that, because if they were flowing like when they first started and looking like the way they ended, I'd be like, nah. You can't have it both ways. You can't be hardcore and fluffy. You can't do it. You can't do it.
That part.
So
Yes.
Oh
No,
man,
I feel you. It's just like,
oh man, I'm crying.
they struggle
like
to
to
breathe with them tight pants.
Well,
remember
you know,
that,
they
that's
say
ATL.
nothing,
You know how that goes.
yeah. And there's nothing new underneath the sun. Nothing new, because I can tell you, growing up in California in the 80s, everybody had tight pants. That was normal. Everybody's pants were fitted. I was the only one walking around needing a belt because I had hand-me-down clothes. So I got one hand holding the belt, looking like I was thug life in current day underwear showing. And it was always a going joke. Hey, what? You did do in your pants? That why your pants falling off?
Well, back in the day, it's different when you're growing up. You don't really have a choice. Like when you're like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, your parents are buying you clothes. Do you think I wanted to wear them booty shorts? Nah, that's what was in style.
Oh, God.
I ain't talking about kids. I'm talking about these artists and these grown men had on
you were
tight
talking.
pants.
You were talking in the 80s.
Yes,
But even
there
Big
was
Boy was wearing.
You didn't have a choice then.
I didn't have a choice, but these artists, they had a choice, and the style was fitted. Everybody wore fitted. It was a transition because of the East Coast. I'm gonna be straight up with it. The East Coast going about 95 into 2000, where everybody kind of went a little bit bigger, but then Cam even touched on it. You know, when the bass came into it, you remember we went through the whole house scene where everybody had like the Jinko jeans, I think it was, the extra large. Well, hip hop adopted that same exact style over, you know, what was it? The tall t-shirts.
Yep.
They were designed for somebody that was 8 feet tall, but you 4'8".
Sleeves halfway up the elbow, but the shirt goes all the way down
on
to
the floor.
knees.
Yeah, shorts like 3 inches off the top of your shoes. So we all go through those phases and transitions. Because I remember during that transition, one of my exes was like, "Hey, you know, I like my man to have a little bit more fitted." So a more fitted look was like a more mature look, but not tight. And then all of a sudden, everybody started wearing these tight pants and sagging. And I'll never forget the comedian talking about, watch when the cops come. How you gonna run now?
You have to waddle away.
Yep.
What's he doing a penguin in the alleyway for? Run.
But back to the hip hop and this Outkast. But yeah, I'll always remember back in 2003 starting to record and Outkast being fresh in my mind. and they had a song, "Ain't Nobody Dope Ask Me, I Dress So Fresh, so fresh and so clean." So I had to be a biter because it was so unique. And we had a club song, and I was like, I step into this club so fresh and so clean. I had to steal it because it was perfect. And the impact that they had was just amazing because they truly made music that you could party to, feel good to, listen to. They had messages like impactful, bombs over Baghdad, they were just something we wasn't ready for. I'm gonna be honest with you. We wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, that's all from the Stankonia album.
Yeah.
So Fresh So Clean is track 4, Miss Jackson is track 3, B.O.B. was track 11.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that is the album again that put them in the stratosphere for like me, you, Anon, and DBrklyn, and most hip hop heads already were on that Outkast bandwagon. But it was that Stankonia album, not the Love Below. I'm sorry that I confused the two, but it was a Stankonia album that really pushed them into the next stratosphere.
I could agree with that perspective, but
and that was only
still
2 or 3 years before. I think 3. I don't remember if that came out in 99 or 2000, but it's one of them. It's 3 or 4 years older than the Love Below or Speaker Box and Love Below.
So Aquim and I was 98. No, Stankonia would be and all that was 2000. Aquim and I was their best, according to all polls and intents and purposes. And that was the Skew It on the Bobbit, or the Barbie, which was, that song was this highly old school players to new school fools. Cash keep it jumping like kangaroos. Skew it on the bobbit, we ain't tried to lose. They done changed the rules. Like, yeah. But I was in high school listening to this. So, for me, it was just a whole nother level of amazing because you didn't hear nobody rapping like that. Honestly, unless they were from East Coast.
You get that Coleco line.
Woo. Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap.
All right, man.
Hey, I'm DBrook.
I'm Anon.
I'm Fluid.
And
We out.